True. Always true. True. Always true.
Good afternoon, I guess. We have I haven't done an afternoon stream in a long fucking time, but so today, as you can tell by the title and everything, I'm going to be attempting to learn a little bit of C++. Now, so this has been in the works for a little. What the fuck is my cat sprinting around for? This has been in the work for a little bit. Primarily because I am a moron and don't know how the fuck any of this shit works. Now, I, as basically a total newcomer to anything regarding coding, I decided it would probably be in my best interest to just follow the guide exactly as it goes. You know, one thing at a time. And as a result, I need to... God, I gotta breathe. So one of the things that this tutorial that I'm following does, the first thing that it does is set up the environment, which I figured, okay, I can do that part off stream and it won't be a big deal, right? And I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. This shit setting up the environment was a huge fucking nightmare and a huge pain in the ass because I have never ever done some shit like this before in my life. At least not anything that was this complicated. So with what little coding I have done was related to Unreal 5, which also uses C++, but is primarily about using Unreal and not, and like you learn the relevant shit. VS Code is asked for C++, I warned you, bro. Okay, but it's also really it's also a huge pain in the ass to try and translate everything to a different IDE that that I don't know or understand when I don't know what the fuck is going on in the first one. That's kind of the big issue with it, right? So like the first thing that this thing does, so I'm going to read the little description of the video. I have the video linked in my description, but basically chapter 1 is setting up tools, installing C++ compilers, installing VS Code, configuring VS Code, and that is as far as I got. It's about 40 minutes of that part, and then the rest is doing it on Linux or on Mac OS instead. So it's what it does is it downloads and then configures 3 different compilers. The first of which I think it's like G++, Clang++, and fucking CL.exe. Now I don't know setting up tools, but I'm already here. Yeah. Ugh. But that's why they wanted me to set up 3 different compilers with this fucking thing. Now, what this means is I have the first project set up and ready to go. So we should be able to just go from here. But but the fact that it took as long as it did and was as huge a pain in the ass and as hard as it was, I figured it would be best to just do it exactly as they tell me to, because odds are if they're telling me to do something, there's a reason for it later. So without any further ado, I'm not gonna open anything because when I've watched the very beginning of this fucking thing, of this next section, which is technically chapter 2, where we write the first program, it's what what I'm going to do is just fucking just follow exactly as they have it, and they do not start with the fucking program open. So let's just fucking we're gonna be watching this fucking 31-hour video from freecodecamp.org, I think. Looks like yeah, freecodecamp.org. This first C++ program. Let's fucking hell. I've never done something like this, so I have no idea how well I'll do. I have no idea how good the course is. Who knows? Maybe it's amazing and I'll be great at this. Woke up, went for stream, immensely fell asleep, woke up at a brilliant time, I see. Yeah, so initially the 3 p.m. thing just didn't work because I woke up again at like 2 because I fucked my sleep schedule. I'm gonna have to do the 24-hour challenge one of these days. And then so I figured I needed to like eat breakfast and stuff, and then I got everything squared away for now. So anyways, let's do this. It's just gonna be the video in the background. Fuck it. So it looks like this. This is a new scene. We will be changing the size of this later, and I'll probably have it like up here eventually. Yeah, I can't do shit without coffee. I have my gamer sups. Yummy. But yeah. All right, let's. I hope you guys have your shit ready if you're planning to do this with me. But otherwise, hopefully, let's make this not a pain in the ass. So this chapter, according to this, goes until the we're gonna see from an hour 43 to 3 hours and 47. So we're going to I don't know how far we'll get into this. I don't know if we're going to do a chapter each stream or what the hell the deal is going to be, because this part chapter 1 setting all of these things up, or there, setting this up. This took me somewhere in the neighborhood of like 12 hours. Switching to here so I can see Tara's messages. Yeah, that's probably better. It's difficult to. I figured it was better to just do this. All right, so let's see what the. Oh, I'm nervous about this. All right, let's go.
In this lecture, you're going to write your first C++ 20 program, and we're going to start and attempt to understand our program. Let's hop over to Visual Studio Code and actually do that. The first thing we want to do is to set up our code so that we can open that in Visual Studio Code. We're going to start from our C++ 20 template project that we set up in the last lecture. And I'm going to be doing the projects for this chapter in this folder here. So we're going to do our very first C++ program. So what we're going to do is go inside our C++ 20 template project.
All right.
And I noticed that we actually left in the build files we don't want. So what we're going to do is remove this main file and this VC140 thing. We don't want these here. And we're going to copy the main CPP file and the .vs code folder. We're going to copy these things, and we're going to put them in our first C++ program folder, and we're going to open this folder in Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is not opened up. You see that I have my developer PowerShell opened. If you want, you can open Visual Studio Code directly without going through this if you're not going to be using the Visual Studio compiler. But I want to have the option to use that compiler. So this is how I am going to open my Visual Studio Code instance. I am going to type code.exe to open this up. I'm going to hit enter, and Visual Studio Code is going to open. And it is going to open.
Okay, so he's doing that. Yes, I trust you. I had to open mine. Oh gosh, okay. Whoa! Hold the fucking phone. Okay, no, I fucked that up a little bit. We're going to... I think I need to change it to... Oh gosh. I've already fucked things. Oh no. Alright. Alright, have I got it now? Do I have it? Oh my gosh. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Something like this. I think this is correct. I think this is what it should look like. Oh my god. Don't worry, the man has a bad mic and an accent, which means the tutorial is good. I have heard as much. Every time I've seen... I remember, so when I was younger, I had to go on, like, Khan Academy, because I was outside of school for some reason. I was at, like, in 9th grade or some shit. In, like, first and... I only did half of 9th grade. And I had to do, like, Khan Academy shit to get to 10th grade. Meow. I'm trying to do things. Alright, does this shit look kind of similar? Okay, well this looks different from this. But this is what they had me write last time. Okay.
Open whatever we did in the last lecture. We don't want this project because this is a template project from the last chapter. We're going to close this folder, go to File, and hit...
I have to close this fucking folder? Wait. Oh god. Dude. Does he just minimize it? Or...
We don't want this project because this is a template project from the last chapter. We're going to close this folder, go to File.
Okay, File, Open File.
And hit Close Folder.
Oh.
And
see, this is what happens. I get ahead of myself. File. Where is it? Oh my god, I can't read. Oh, there it is at the very bottom. Close folder. Okay.
We're going to open the new folder we want to work in. We're going to go to File and hit Open Folder. We're going to go to the location where our project is. So you're going to go where yours is. I'm going to browse to mine. And I'm going to go in the current chapter and choose 3.2 first C++ program. I'm going to select the folder. It's going to open up. And you're going to see that our settings from the last template project are still valid here. They were copied over. If we open the main CPP file, it's going to be the main thing we had in the last lecture. So we have the option to run task. You're going to see that we have 2 compilers available, and this is really good. We are ready.
Let's double check, make sure. Actually, if I go to, oh, is this maybe, I think this is too zoomed in to show. Yeah, it's too zoomed in. Clang, GCC, MSVC. Cool. Okay. The main PP file. Alright, so we have to... I'm gonna have to fuck with that another time, I think. Since I have to press that anyways, I might as well be zoomed in, I think. Okay. Well, so we have the options. We saw that.
Need to start using this. Let's try and build this with GCC, and we're going to have our binary created. We can click in the terminal here, and if we want to open the terminal again, we have the option to come in terminal.
Okay, so it worked properly. Oh, he doesn't have the terminal open already.
And a new terminal. This is going to open this up. If we do dir in the terminal, we're going to see our program generated. We can remove this thing here and say rmrooster.exe and remove this. We can clear, and we have a clean project we can start learning from. Okay, now we have the project in. It is building successfully. Let's try to understand the code we have in here. The first statement we have is this include IOStream thing. This is a feature C++ offers to load the pre-built libraries that we can use.
So this loads pre-built libraries? All right, let me see. I know a little bit about stuff. Loads pre-built libraries. What does he mean by that? What kind of what libraries are we talking about?
IOStream is specifically going to help us print things to the console. We've seen that we can, for example, print hello world if we want. Let's take out all these things in here and say std : cout. This is coming from IOStream.
Okay. His code is different from mine. So I think I should probably... Should I just make my shit look like his? std cout, std cin. Miss Tron, I learned to code but too many words. I can't read so good. He deletes that, don't worry about it. Okay.
We've seen that we can, for example, print hello world if we want. Let's take out all these things in here and say std : cout.
So let's do this. So it's all of this stuff. So std cout.
This is coming from IOStream, and we're going to put 2 less than symbols. We're going to open 2 quotes, and inside we're going to type hello world.
Hello
and we're going
world.
to go outside the quotes and do 2 less than signs and say std : endl and put a semicolon. This is going to print things on the console if we run this program.
Okay.
So if we run this program, the first thing we need to do is to build this program. So we can come to terminal, task.
Well, he's got a little thing that says return. So I'm gonna... I don't know what that does, but I want to make sure my shit's the same.
Build it with GCC, And after we've built it, we can hit enter to close.
He's also got this thing. I don't know if this. I don't know how important this part is. It feels like it could be very important. I don't know. What was it? Const eval int get value. Oops. Return 3. Return code 0 means your main function ran without encountering an error. In the code? Like that's what it's for? So is this like unnecessary then, or is it just kind of is there some other reason that it's there? It's just something that's done? Okay. And get value.
Close the terminal, and we can do dir to see the content of the folder. You see that.
Oh wait, did he run it and I just didn't pay attention?
To go outside the quotes and do 2 less than signs and say std : it.l and put a semicolon. This is going to print things on the console if we run this program. So if we run this program, the first thing we need to do is to build this program. So we can come to terminal, task, and we're going to build it with GCC. And after we've built it, we can hit enter to close the terminal. And we can do dir to see the content of the folder. You see that a program has been generated. We can run it. And if we run it, it's going to say hello world. This message is coming from this statement here. And we have this statement because we have included IOStream.
End-l stands for end line. It's necessary because the main function returns an integer. Numbers having funny names. Code is great. I mean, I could do numbers. I'm okay with mathematics. I'm like not terrible at that, but I've never actually had to do.
To really make this super clear, we can try to remove this line that says include IOStream. And the moment we do that, you're going to see that this tab says we have problems. And if you open this tab, you're going to see the message, namespace std has no member, cout, namespace std has no member, endl. This is because the C++ program doesn't know what std cout means, because we don't have the library included. And you also see that we have this squiggly.
Okay. So if I just comment it out, it doesn't seem to do anything to it. Integer means whole number. Yo, lazy, does C++ do semicolon at the end of statements? I mean, I know what an integer is. That's grade school shit, isn't it? It's like learning the difference between an integer and a real number versus like fraction. Like no. Well, I think a fraction could be considered something like it'd be under real numbers, but it's not an integer. Decimals are not integers. All that good shit. Absolute value, you know, like -3 has an absolute value of 3. All that good shit.
Lines to make it really clear that we have a problem. So to really be able to use this, we have to include a third-party library that brings these features into our program.
Okay.
And that's what the include statement here is really doing. So let's bring this in, and we're going to say IOStream again. And let's wait and see that the problem goes away. And the one thing you should really know is that we don't have a semicolon at the end of the IOStream statement. We don't need to put it there, but many C++ statements need a semicolon at the end. Okay, I think this really makes it clear what the
stream was blurry for a sec because internet, so I couldn't see the semicolon. Yeah.
include statement here is doing. The other thing we have in our program is this int main parentheses curly braces thing. This thing here is called the main function. A function in C++ is a block of code that does a lot of things.
Okay.
But the main function here is special because it is the starting point of your C++ program. We also call the main function the entry point of a C++ program. And what that means is that if you open the program, the main function is going to be the very first thing that is going to run, and things are going to be executed in the main function in order. So the statement on the top is going to run first, and the statement after that, until we hit the end of the function. So this is what we mean here. To really drive this home, we can come here in our main function and say std number 1. And say std it.l. And by the way, this it.l statement is going to print a new line. We're going to see it in effect in a moment. Let's actually take it out so that we can see its effect. We're going to also do std out number 2. And what this is going to do is...
Okay, hold on. I wanna do this shit with him. I wanna make sure all my shit is the same. I know that this stuff is probably primarily to illustrate a point, but I like to see things done as I do them correctly. Yeah, this is number 1.
Is to print number 1 and number 2 on the terminal. Let's build this program. And if you want to build the default task, you can hit Ctrl-Shift-B for it to happen very fast. But I am always going to come here so that it is really clear what I am doing. Our program should be generated now. If we try to run it by typing rooster.exe, and again we can hit...
Okay, so I need to probably rm and then run task with G++, and then we go then we go dir number 1, number 2. I like functions because you can name them tub function. STD, brother man, shit's to do. C++ doesn't care about indentation and spacing that much, unlike Python. I've heard that Python is basically like regular almost like just literally telling the code what to do. I've never messed with Python like at all. I did a little bit of like my experience level is basically I did some, I want to say it was Java in high school. I did a little bit of Unreal 5 like 2.5, 3 years ago, and now we're doing this. You can get silly with it. Oh no.
The up arrow button on our keyboard so that the last command that we run from this terminal runs, and this is going to speed things up a little bit. So if we run this program, it should say number 1 and number 2 as you see here, but these two things are cramped on one line, and the reason is we are not printing new line characters after we print number 1 and number 2. And we can solve this problem by putting in 2 less than symbols and saying std : endl. This is going to put a new line character after number 1. We can build again for our new changes to take effect. After we do that, we click.
Okay, so what is the issue with this? Expected an expression? What does that mean? Did I type something wrong? Oh, yes. Okay, there we go. That should have fixed it. I did not realize Ooh, yes. Ah! Ah! Oh, detail-oriented. God damn it. You know, I put on a resume once that I was I was I was detail-oriented, and the fucking I actually it was the funniest thing ever. I had detail-oriented on there like twice. And like right next to each other, and it should have been an indication that I am not detail oriented, but it got me a fucking ridiculously well-paying job. Okay, so do I have to remove this exe every time I want to compile this, or do I just can I just do it? It seems like he just does it, right?
Click on the terminal. Is going to put a new line character after number 1. We can build again
That's the
for
funniest
our
fucking
new
joke you can play on
changes to
HR.
tag effect. After
Okay, so it looks like he just does it. It is a pretty funny joke, but the fact that I actually got hired with that resume is kind of embarrassing for all parties, frankly. Okay. So then...
After we do that, we click on the terminal, we hit enter, we hit the up arrow button. If we run, it's going to say number 1 and number 2 on 2 separate lines, because we are printing a new line character after number 1. I really hope this makes sense. Please do take some time to play with us, because if this is the first time you're doing this, some things might not be clear, and the best way to really make sense of this is to type code, run it, and see the effect of what you type by running your program. So let's do this a couple of times. We're going to do std.it.l after the statement for number 2. We're going to do std.cout number 3. And we're going to do std.endl. To really show the problem again, we're going to take out std.endl on the number 2 line. We are going to build. The build is going to be successful. We're going to click in the terminal, hit enter, hit the up arrow button, run the program again, and you're going to see it's saying number 1. It's going on the new line, printing number 2, but we're not jumping to the new line from number 2. So number 2 and number 3 are...
Wait, what? New line character he's referring to is /n, \n. Is that like a what? Well, something like this? Is Sonny understanding all of this? I hope he is. He's a very good boy, but I don't know if he's I don't know how much he's paying attention. So std.cout number 1, std.cl std.endl is the same thing as writing std.cout number 1/n. So if I were to take so it's like the same thing as this? Is that my understanding? So these 2 lines functionally do the same thing? What is the number 1 STD? Probably HIV. Well, let's see this. Yes, 1 is just uglier. I mean, that makes sense. All right, so I do that. And if we do this, all right, number 1, number 2, number 3, and that looks, well, I mean, you can't quite see it, but it is like that's like the same thing he's got on his terminal. So that's cool. Is this the ugly one because it's longer? STD stands for standard. So many STD in this tutorial. I think we're in California. Whoa there. Don't oh god, what's his name? I feel bad. I forgot the teacher's name. Mr. Gakwaya, I want to say. I mean, dude clearly knows what the fuck he's doing. This is no amateur hour.
Are going to be cramped on one line. That's what we see here. We can solve this again by putting in a new line after number 2. Let's do std endl here, and this should solve the problem.
No, /n is ugly because you can do things like hello world /n. This is in a new line, and it looks great once it's printed, but in code it looks like ass. Okay, I mean that makes sense. It's what I imagine. I don't know. I'm not a. This doesn't seem as intuitive to me as this. Maybe it's because this being end line, like standard C in, standard end line, or C out, I should say, not C in. And then end line just kind of makes this makes intuitive sense, I think, more so than this. This is probably good if you're trying to cut down character count for some reason. I don't know why you would need to do that.
Again, let's build. We're going to run our build task. The build is going to be successful. We're going to hit the up arrow to run the program. If we run it, it's going to...
Yeah, and so that one... so I could do... to achieve this same effect as what he's done, I could do this. Let's try it. Run task, G++. Ooh. Didn't click on you, my bad. Fucking... Look at that. I did exactly the same thing and in fewer characters. That's clearly better, right? That's how it works. God, and this isn't even like consistent with each other. Oh, fuck me, dude.
To say number 1, number 2, and number 3, and this is really good. Now
Cool.
It should be clear that statements in the main function are run in order from top to bottom, and that the program is going to end when it hits the end of this curly brace that englobes our
Making
function.
tea.
We're going
I'll
to
take
have
some
a
tea.
chance to learn more about functions in detail later in the course, but we are just getting started and we need to
It's
start
so
somewhere.
ugly.
So that's why we're doing
Don't leave that space between between the quote. Here, I'll do it like this. Is that better? Where it's two different ones. One has the space and one doesn't. Oh God.
doing this main function thing here. Another thing you can do is return from the main function, and in many examples you will see people do return 0, something like this.
Okay, so he's doing this return thing. I'm sure he'll explain why he's doing it now. Okay, I'm gonna make all this shit consistent though. I don't like this this slash thing. CD and L. STD, whoops, and L. Do everything that specifically annoys Lazy. Just yeah, I'll do like this, and then I'll have all the code be fucked up and different from each other. No, it'll annoy me too. That's the problem. It would bother me so much. You see, okay, fun fact. So most of my close friends, like the friends that I like I've mentioned before when I go and play like Halo Lasso and shit like that, all of them have like computer engineering and like cybersecurity and shit like crazy like these computer related degrees, to the point where like if I have some sort of computer problem, I'm like, hey, what do I do? What's what the fuck happened? Like I accidentally gave a hard drive of mine schizophrenia. Somehow there was 2 partitions of it that both took up the entire hard drive, which which I don't ask me how I did it. I couldn't recreate it for you if I tried, but it meant that it was bricked and I was not able to use it. It was fucking hilarious, and I had these guys like looking at it for for hours, like, what the fuck? And like maybe like they tried to fuck with it in BIOS and shit like that just to see, just to see if they could fix it. All I wanted was to clone my hard drive and I couldn't fucking do it. Oh god. Oh.
And this is a way for the main function to send the message to the operating system if it finished successfully or if there was some kind of problem. We're not going to go into any more details about the main function because that's really too much for now. We are just getting started. We are trying to get a feel of how C++ works. The main message here is really that you should be able to print things to the console using stdc out. You should be able to print a new line after your message using stdendl. This stdc out and stdendl thing come from the iostream library that we are including here. Okay. If we don't include this library, we're going to have problems because our C++ program is not going to know where they are coming from. So we should really put this in if we want to use these features. And we can return from a function to let the system know, the operating system, if the program finished up successfully or if there was some kind of problem. And again, this project is using the templates we've done before. And this is really all we set out to do in this lecture. Trying to make sense of the main function in C++. To really practice these things, I would challenge you to write a C++ program just like this that is going to print your name 10 times. Try to do that, and if you have a problem, please do ask me and I will do the best I can to help you out. This is really...
So, wait, I'm supposed to print my name 10 times? Go to File, Preferences... Oh gosh, I have to make this smaller again, I think. Oh wait, what the fuck? Where's my file? File, Preferences, Settings. Oh, I'm gonna have to make this. There we go. File, Preferences, Settings. And type in white space. In the search bar, turn render white space to all. What does this do? Controls how the editor should render white space characters. What does that do? Oh, does that just add like spaces so that I can see that see these little things? You can close it now. This guy says because, which is how veggies say it. Was it bothering you, Lazy, that you couldn't see how many spaces I had? Because...
all we set out to do in this lecture. I hope you found it interesting.
I mean, if I'm just supposed to write my name 10 times, I mean, I can just do... Can I not just copy this? Is that, or was I supposed to find some, like, creative solution to doing that? I doubt you were. terminal, run task. I mean, this isn't too hard to do, regardless. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Close enough. Your copy paste skills are atrocious. Look, man. Look, man. You're giving me shit, okay? The fact that I'm doing it at all is kind of a fucking miracle, to be honest. I assume he's gonna teach you loops, for loops for that later. I mean, maybe. This is I don't. You can see the day how long this is. This is days. So we have 1 day, 7 hours, 7 minutes and 29 seconds. We're only 2 hours into it, so we got some time. Question is how much of this should I stream at a time? I mean, this was one lecture. Obviously, it's not too much. I'm not stopping yet, but I'm curious how like it might. Your first C++ program. I think the next one is comments, probably. It's probably going to be comments, errors, and warnings. And then statements and functions are... I don't know. We'll go until I feel tired of it. Or until we get to the next chapter.
We're going to stop here in this lecture. In the next one, we're going to start and learn about comments in C++. Go ahead and finish up here and meet me there. In this lecture, we're going to learn about comments in C++. Comments are a way to put some messages in your C++ code that are really meant to be read by humans. And one way we have to do comments in C++ is through this / thing we have here. This is going to comment out the line, so the compiler is really not going to care about it. It's going to think that it is something that is meant for the developer to see. So this is a one-line comment, and this is how you do that in
comments.
C++.
Well, it's probably going to be short.
You can also comment out a block of code in your C++ code, and this is something that comes in quite handy many times. You put your comment in a / and a * like this. This is going to comment things out in your code, and the compiler is really not going to care about this. Let's hop over to Visual Studio Code and actually play with this. So here we are in the folder that is going to contain our code. The first thing I'm going to do is go through the template project. I'm going to copy my files, and I'm going to go up again, and we're going to be learning about comments. So I'm going to put this in the folder on comments. I am going to close whatever folder we have opened in Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to browse to the location where my project on comments is.
Okay, well this is, I think, do I need to make a brand new project for this shit? I don't think so, right? Surely I don't. Surely I can just do this, right? I mean, it's comments. I can just undo them.
My project is in this folder that is named 33 comments. I'm going to open the folder, and if I open the main CPP file, I'm going to find the starter project. We're going to remove this const eval thing because we're really not ready to understand this yet. It was here to help us test that our compilers support C++20. So we're going to remove this, and we're going to put in a message that says, hello world. You already know how to do that from the last lecture. So we're going to...
Okay. Control and / or /. I don't know which one is forward and which one's back. They all seem it's all stupid to me. Control and / should be a comment shortcut. What? Comment shortcut. Oh, it comments the whole line. That's helpful. I didn't know that. I know where all the bodies are buried. You do not recognize the bodies in the water. You do not recognize the bodies in the water.
Say stdc out, hello world, and we're going to say std_endl, and don't forget this semicolon at the end. If you do, you're going to have problems. So make sure your code looks like this. Try to build it to make sure it's working fine. This is going to run the GCC task to build. We can click on the terminal here and it's going to close the terminal. And we can open a new terminal here if we want. If we do dir, we're going to find our rooster program inside. We can run it and it's going to say hello world. We already know to do this from the last lecture. And in this one, we are going to be learning about comments. The first thing you can do is use // So let's do that. And
you can select multiple lines and control slash them all at once. Am I supposed to do that like this? No. Okay, so I just gotta not suck ass at highlighting stuff apparently, and it's amazing how your problems go away when you do things correctly. It's amazing. It's incredible, really. You know, when you stop making mistakes, things get easier. Wow, who'd have thunk it?
Let's put some message here. This brings in the IOStream library. This is a nice message that is going to give some more information about this statement to whoever might be reading this program. And this is called a one-line comment. You can really put this wherever you want in your C++ file. We can go in the main function, for example, and say this is going to print hello world to the console or the terminal. We can really put this anywhere. We can even put it after the return statement here and really put in whatever piece of information we think is going to make sense to whoever is going to be reading our program. Okay, this is how you do a one-line comment. You can also do comments across different lines. And the way you do that, you put that in the /* and go down and say */ like this. And whatever is going to be in the middle here is going to be a comment. This is usually called a block comment. You can put in whatever you want. So if you have a piece of text that you would like to use as a comment in your program, this is one way you can do this. One thing you should know though, is that you cannot nest these things. But before we do that, let's try to build up.
You cannot nest these things. We're not able to put... What does he mean by we can't nest them? Whoa, that's fucking... I just noticed that I could do this. I can get rid of whole... Or not get rid of, but like stop looking at whole blocks of code? What the fuck? You don't need to highlight all of it, just part of the line. Okay, but if I don't, if I don't highlight the whole line, then it seems like when I do this. Oh, okay. So it must be because I was just highlighting this, and when I uncomment, that goes away, and then it doesn't come back because it's not there. It's not highlighted anymore. Okay. I'm understanding. I'm brain more gooder.
A program to really show that there is no problem if we have these comments in. The build is successful, and if we click on this terminal and hit enter and hit clear to...
All right, let's build this again. Run task, G++, and then I mean it runs just the way exactly the same as without all of the screen text here. So, yay! But the fact that I can get rid of this, and because wow, that is... I never even considered that I would want to do this, but the fact that I can is so helpful. Wow.
Clear things out in the terminal. We can try to run our rooster program, and it's going to say hello world. You see that all these green lines, which are comments,
Yeah, mine says
are
Ragnarok.
really not affecting the program. All the compiler is going to care about is this include thing. It's going to care about the main function here. It's going to ignore these green things. It's going to be like these green lines that are our comments are not in there. This is the effect comments have on your program. And we're going to be using this a lot in this course.
This is the effect comments have.
One thing you should know, though,
None at
is
all.
that you cannot nest these block comments. So if you try to do something like this and say this is one comment, and come again and say this is another comment, you see that we have problems already. Nesting is not allowed. You're going to get a compiler error, and we're going to learn more about these errors.
Why would anybody even want to nest comments like this? It seems kind of pointless. Like, just make more comments? I don't know. I mean, it's good to know that it's not possible, I guess. I can't imagine why someone would want to. Have you seen the meme of the guy with the massive forehead saying, "Man, tomorrow is wild. Wait till you see tomorrow," bro? I have not. What the fuck?
Errors in the next lecture. But don't do this. Don't nest these block comments. If you do that, you're going to get some confusing errors, and this is going to be the cause for them. So don't nest your block comments. It's going to give you headaches. Okay, this is really all we set out to do in this lecture.
Yeah,
learning about
this was a
comments
pretty
in
short
C++.
one.
You can do one-line comments on a single line like this. You can do block comments to comment out a block of text. You can't nest your block comments because that's going to give you a lot of problems. You don't want that. And really use comments wisely and don't overdo it because it's going to turn your program into a novel. And I don't think people want that. So use this feature when you need it to give some more information about your code, and don't overdo this. We are going to stop here in this lecture. In the next one, we're going to learn about different kinds of errors and warnings you can see in your C++ program.
Okay.
Go ahead and finish up here and meet me there. In this lecture,
All
we're
right,
going
I'm
to
at him
learn
there.
about
Wow, that was
errors
quick.
and warnings in your C++ programs. There are three kinds
Errors,
of
yes,
or
indeed.
warnings you can get. You can get compile time errors, you can get runtime errors, and you can get warnings. But what is really meant by these things? Remember, the ultimate goal of every developer or every C++ developer, in our case here, is to be able to generate a binary executable file from the C++ code. And we have to run the code through the compiler to be able to do that. And one thing you should know is that there is a set of requirements that the compiler enforces on our code for it to be able to compile successfully. And those requirements are the rules really that we have to follow in our C++ program. And if we break those rules, we're going to get problems. And these problems are going to come in the form of compile time errors, runtime errors, or warnings. Let's look at compile time errors.
He's got an accent, man.
Here we have a simple C++ program that has a few problems. We have forgotten to put the semicolon at the end of our stdc out statement here, and the compiler is going to freak out because of this. If we compile this program, we're going to get a bunch of errors, and the IDE is going to show us this problem. Some IDEs are going to give you different errors. For example, here I was using CodeLite, and it was saying error expected semicolon before return, or something like this. So this is
I have a okay. This is actually an interesting kind of thingamajig. So I was running into an error with is it showing up on the stream? Okay. This is a screenshot of the error of one of the errors I was running into. For some reason, so in the beginning of this tutorial, he has like this fucking, I think he calls it a spaceship, this thingamajig, and for some reason his VS Code really did not like it, and I didn't quite understand why, and this is like the screenshot of the fucking thing. And it says the build finished with errors, and G++ was giving me this issue where like it was like a 50-50 whether it was going to compile or not with G++. Clang was fine, fucking cl.exe was fine. This one GCC G++ did not like it at all. I honestly don't know what the spaceship modifier is. So I looked it up. It's apparently supposed to be a comparison between three things, I think. Like I don't quite understand how it's used. But it was written in the code and it kept giving me an error and didn't like it, didn't like it, didn't like it. Uh I'm glad. I was worried that today was going to be more like, oh, we test it and it's just not working properly and we don't know why. I was worried that it was going to be all about like this fucking problem and it was not. Oh my god, that's the sign of the devil. I would not be surprised. Have you seen the fucking the image that's like create ways to speak without speaking and see without seeing, and it's like basically like computers are Satan, and how the computers are how the devil has been controlling humanity, you know, because they're bound by the King's Pact or whatever the fuck. It's like, oh yeah, the devils cannot speak to humans, and they cannot that humans cannot see them. It's fucking hilarious. All right, let's look at some more of these errors.
Error, and if you have this kind of errors, your program is not going to compile. Compilation is going to fail.
I love that meme.
You're
I know,
going
it's
to get
great.
this error, and you're not going to get your binary executable. And when you have this, you basically have to go back and fix this problem, compile again, and when you get rid of these problems, the compilation is going to succeed. This is what a compile time error is. Another thing you can have is a runtime error. This is not going to cause a compile time error. The compilation is going to succeed, but when you run the program, it's not going to do what you intended it to do in the first place. For example,
So is that
you may
like
want it
typical
to print
bugs?
green on some user interface. It's going to print gray or whatever. It's really not going to do what you want. So it's a logical error that you have in your program, and you have to fix it to get rid of this. And another thing you should know is that sometimes these runtime errors can cause your program to fail and terminate immediately, and we say that the program has crashed. We're going to see an example of this in a minute.
The spaceship is some C++ 20 BS. I worked with C++ 17. Yeah, I mean, like the when we were configuring the, is it under settings? No, properties. No, it's under tasks. Duh, this is the one that I was editing. So where is it? So for some reason, this compiler really did not like the spaceship one. So we had to add this thing, so it would add the C++ 20 to it, and it like let it work. And for some reason, the first times I added this, it seemed like I didn't do anything. It didn't work. With Clang, it didn't work at all before, and then I added this, and I never had an issue again. And then this one, just C++ latest, and it's never had an issue. But GCC really did not fucking like the spaceship thing. Even when I added or took this out, it didn't seem like it made a huge difference. It's fucking weird.
The last kind of problem you can have in your program is a warning. This is a problem that is not serious enough for the compiler to halt your compilation. Compilation is going to succeed, but this is basically the compiler telling you you are doing something that has some problems, and you should really fix it before it becomes a serious problem. So that's going to be a warning. For example, here you see some compilers can warn you when you divide stuff by 0, and we're going to see how this works. The main message in this lecture is that you may have problems in your program, and they are going to come in 3 forms. Some are going to be compile time errors, some are going to be runtime errors, some are going to be warnings. We are going to hop over to Visual Studio Code and actually play with this. Okay, here I am in Visual Studio Code.
No.
The first thing
Class
I'm going to do is to set up the template project we're going to be using in our project here. The project is going to live in this folder, errors and warnings. I am going to copy over the files, and I am going to go in the current project we're going to be working on. And I am going to open this folder in Visual Studio Code. I am going to go to File, Close Folder. I am going to close this one, and I am going to open our new project. I am going to browse to it.
I considered setting up a folder that looks exactly like his,
it
but I'm kind of glad I didn't at this point because I'm just copying. I'd just be copying and pasting stuff.
I am going to close this welcome screen and open our main CPP file. We're going to get rid of this const eval thing. This is a C++ 20 test thing we had in. We don't really need it now. We're going to get there in due time. What we want to see is compile time.
Okay, let me make sure my shit is the same as his, just for the sake of this. Oh, wait. Mr. President, Sonny has taken the lunch codes. Oh no. Anyways. Okay.
Errors. We're going to put in our stdc out statement. Hello world, as we usually do. We're going to end this std and we're going to remove the semicolon on purpose. And if we try to compile our program like this, we're going to get a compile time error. This is what we want to see. So let's try and build our program. We're going to run the task to build with GCC. And you see that the build fails. We're going to get a bunch of errors in our terminal. It's going to say in function int main expected a semicolon before return. It's going to try its best to tell you what the problem is, but sometimes these errors can be really confusing. In this case, it is really easy because we introduced this error on purpose. So we're going to fix it in a minute. But before we do that, I want you to see this problems tab. It is where the problems are going to show up in Visual Studio Code. So you should see your problems in here or through the terminal here. Okay, one thing you should know is that when you have a compiler error, compilation is not going to succeed and you're not going to have your binary file, which is what you...
Wait, hold on. I should probably go ahead and... So, we'll rm rooster. Get rid of it. Clear. And then this one should do run task. Okay. Mr. President, Sonny has taken the lunch codes. Wait, I just read that. What the fuck's wrong with me? Okay.
You really want. So to fix this problem, we're going to put in our semicolon here. We're going to build again. We're going to go to terminal, run task. We're going to build with GCC. And this time you're going to see that compilation is going to succeed and we have our program here. We can run it through the terminal here. So we're going to click. The terminal is going to go away, but we can open our own. And if we do dir, we're going to see our files in here and we can run our program. We can say rooster. And if we run, we're going to have hello world. So I hope this really makes...
Okay. Missing... Shut up! I did it because the tutorial is telling me to. I mean, he's like not even telling me to do it. He's just showing it. And but like, fuck you, hey, dick. Missing semicolon, rookie, fucking dumbass. I hate you.
It's very clear what the compile time error is. So this is one kind of error you can get. The other one is a runtime error. And
okay, so that was the compile time error. Let's take a look at the runtime error. You can use this to make your own cliche hyper-realistic blood creepypasta exe game. I mean, that would be fun. I might do one of the things that I want to do eventually is I want to do a game jam at some point, but I have never done any I've never done anything like that on my mischievous arc. Oh my god. He's mischievous, guys.
And this comes in the form of things that don't work as you really expected. So let's say we are trying to do some computation in our program. We try to take 7 and divide this by 0, for example. And this is a statement that is a load in C++. So let's try and build this and see what we get, because this is a common scenario where we have runtime errors. We're going to run the task to build with GCC. Okay, if we do this, you see that build finished with warnings. We didn't get a compile time error and our build was successful. So to really prove this, I'm going to go back in our directory. I'm going to do dir. You're going to see that rooster is there. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to say rooster.exe. This is how we remove stuff from the command line. When I do this and do dir again, the executable file should be gone. So let's try and build with this statement in, and you're going to see that we get a warning and not a compile time error like we had here. So we're going to go to terminal, run task. We're going to build with GCC, and you're going to see that we're going to have our executable here, but we had a warning and it's saying that division by 0 was detected in our program and it is a recipe for disaster. So why is it a disaster? Let's try and run this program. So we're going to dir to prove it's here, and we're going to run it. If we run it, it's going to say hello world, and it's going to end. Let's try and actually use our own terminal to see.
What the fuck was that noise? What the fuck was that? Did you guys hear that? If this was really a class, I'd sleep through it and get an easy B. Well, I mean, you've done this shit before, right? We're all different kids in class. Lazy is the nerd who already knows everything. You're confused, but you got the spirit, and I'm the kid at the back assembling a bomb. Oh my god. It sounds like a ghoul. I think it was from the video. What the fuck? I have been the kid who just falls asleep and gets an easy B, because I remember when I was in when I lived in Brazil, I had to take a physics. So the way that the school like science courses were structured in the U.S., it was typically biology in 9th grade, chemistry in 10th, and then physics was like 11th and or 12th. And when I was in Brazil, it was reversed. We did physics first, and then chemistry, and then biology was last. And then when I got to 12th grade, because I was like, I had already done physics, but I had to take physics again because that was the 12th grade science course. I literally slept through the course, and I had like an easy B plus because I'd already done this shit. When I was in school, I sat in the back and drew in my notebook, but people thought I was taking notes. I have never been able to take notes in my life. It is a skill that I just do not have. Like, I need to, like, straight up, I don't know how the fuck to take notes. Like, I'll write shit down, but it's like, but it's all important. It's all important. What do you mean I just write down the important stuff and study it? It's all important. I need it all.
If we have a better chance of seeing the problem here. So I'm going to reveal in Explorer by clicking on main CPP, and I am going to try and open a terminal window here, PowerShell, that we open ourselves. We've done this before. This shouldn't be new to you by
Oh god, I got it.
by now.
It's not new, but I forget how
We
to
open ourselves.
Okay. Open the CPP. Open with. Wait.
I'm going to try and open a terminal window here, PowerShell, that we open ourselves.
Huh. I don't seem to have an option to open it with PowerShell. Two can be as bad as one. Do you ever take notes for Japanese? I thought you were going to say people thought I was autistic. I hate R-value lines. How to code a calamity to wipe out humanity. What the fuck is going on? Do I ever take notes for Japanese? No. I can't. I need the only way that I ever learn anything is by essentially trying to essentially just trying to fucking like recognize the words in other videos and whatnot. Huh. Well, I don't seem to have the option to do this.
We've done this before. This shouldn't be new to you by now. So we're going to do dirt in here, and we're going to try and run the program, and it's going to run. So it's not really giving us a runtime error here because we're not capturing this or trying to use the result of this division here. We're just doing the division, which is a problem. So let's try and capture this. We haven't learned about variables yet, but what we're going to do now is do int value, and we're going to...
Okay, so problem, it says division by 0. Duh. Okay. Int value equals...
assign the result of this division to this value. And let's try printing the result of dividing a number by 0. So we're going to do stdc out, and we're going to say value. And this is how you can print a value out on the console. Okay, now that we have this in, let's try and build. We're going to run task and build with GCC. We're going to get the same warning, but if we try to run the program, we're not going to get what we expect. Let's run rooster exe. We expect it to say hello world and print the value, but you see that it's really...
Okay. Make sure my shit's not all fucked up. stdc out. Value. I don't know why he has spaces here, but he does. Value, std, end line.
really struggling to print the value, and it gave up and ended immediately. So this is one example.
Wait, did he compile it and run it? That was quick.
We're not going to get what we expect. Let's run rooster.
That was fucking... Dude is fucking schmoovin' with it. Alright, and then I can go to... Is this, It doesn't seem like it did anything. Since I like journaling already, I have a notebook for stuff like grammar, but I take notes sparsely because practice is the best way to learn. Because, okay, Professor Veggie.
exe. We expect it to say hello world and print the value, but you see that it's really struggling to print the value, and it gave up and ended immediately. So this is one example of a runtime error that you can face in your program. There are many other kinds.
Didn't build again because he doesn't know how to get a runtime error.
That we're going to see as we progress in the course. Here, we are just trying to raise your awareness on these problems so that you can know how to fix them when they come up. Okay, so this is all I can share with you now about runtime errors. We also had a...
What if I change this... Here, let me... If I change this to 7 divided by 1, and then we build with G++. I assume this should print both things. Okay. So runtime error seems like it's just a skill issues basically. This is what I'm going to have a lot of. These are this is like, hey, shit's these are like, hey, shit's broken and we do not work. This one is, you have a skill issue and didn't tell me to do exactly what I wanted properly. Because the idea is that if it's supposed to be 7 divided by 0, then it's like, oh, well, it won't show up. Which, it's... What it should have done, probably... I don't know about should have, but, like, what I guess what I would have expected from 7 divided by 0 is for this to show up as, like, undefined or something. Because it's fucking broken. Because that's what division by 0 does, is it's undefined, it's not mathematically viable. I'm sure there's some high level thing that could explain how it can be done or some shit, but it's long after my fucking understanding.
A chance to see that this is also going to give you a warning. And Visual Studio Code here is also helping out, telling us that we may have a problem. It's turning the main CPP file yellow, and it's saying that there is one problem in this file. And if you go here, you're going to see that we have a warning here. Okay, so this is one way you have to see this. So this is not recommended to do, so we're going to comment this out. Okay, this is really all I had to share in this lecture. We had a chance to look at compile time errors. We also had a chance to look at warnings and runtime errors using this example. If you get a warning, it is a message the compiler is giving you that you should really look it up and fix the problem before it becomes more serious.
STD cout R1 R1. I gotta make sure this shit doesn't. This shit has to look exactly the same. Yeah, this. And then int value. So int R1 equals 1. And then cout R1. Is this correct? R1 equals curly brace 1, semicolon, std cout R1. Okay. Terminal, run task. And then I don't know why I keep clicking over to problems. Remember to save. It saves automatically. Yeah, I guess, yeah. So what exactly have I just done here? what is this? Why does this produce this giant fucking string? I assume this is an array or something. It's not an error. God damn it. What the fuck? You accessed garbage? So what is a runtime error? It's an array with one element. Makes sense. So what exactly? So when you say accessed garbage, are these just like random, I guess bytes in somewhere on the computer? But you printed the second element. Yeah. It did print the second element. Yes, its address is right next to wherever the first element is stored. Interesting. And in that element wasn't anything you defined, just random shit. It's just like, yeah, go go fetch me some random numbers. So if I run it again, it should give me the exact same things, right? No, never mind. It gave me different numbers. Did I RNG? What the fuck is this, dude? What the fuck? Tomorrow I'll make Spinning Sunny in Blender, and your task is to learn how to code something with him. Oh my god. My high school professor called it garbage. I am so confused. So it's just random gobbledygook. It's not actually anything. Because wherever you run your program, it's initiated in a random part of memory. Ah! So it's So it's literally just a random number generator. That's pretty interesting. I mean, it's not literally a random number generator, but it's functionally a random number generator. I can even produce negative numbers, which is kind of a shock. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Yeah, but usually you get an out of bounds exception. Really? So if if I'm trying to understand this properly, so a runtime error, the way he explained it, made it sound like it was just a made it sound like it's essentially like a bug where it's like, oh, that's not working as intended. And is that an accurate assessment of what a runtime error is? Because the compile time error is the one that just doesn't work. Like it doesn't create a binary exe that you can run. It's a security issue. That's that sounds concerning. I'm worried now. Should I be streaming this? Part of the reason I don't have like my file explorer and everything also streaming is because it's very is because I'm worried about my shit getting all over the internet. Runtime errors, crashes. Is that not what the division by zero did though when it tried to print an undefined value? And when I say undefined value, I mean like literally the value is undefined because it's division by zero so it stops early. Like it printed the first line and then not the second. A lot of hacking programs use out-of-bounds reading and writing. Ah. So this is... That's why it's a security flaw. It can be used by you to exploit security. Interesting. Oh, what is this? I don't even know. I don't know if that one built even. I mean, it did build. It said that it was like, hey, I think it said like build completed with. Yeah, let's check it again. Int value 0 std cout value std and l. So then if we run task. Yeah, so build finished with warnings. And actually, let's make sure that it changes. So run task. So now instead of saying hello world, what it should say is Ragnarok. And then we can run it. So it builds. It builds, it finishes with warning, and it does build properly. But it's not but it stops early because the undefined value is undefined and not printable. All right. Well, that's good. That's helpful. Now we know our shit is working properly. I guess. Oh my gosh. This is going well. I'm glad I'm glad you're enjoying it because I'm I'm trying to understand all the shit that's going on. It just doesn't print the error, Sag. Yeah. 'cause the only place it seems to mention it at all is like, hey, you have a division by 0 here, and there's a I think this warning means that it'll still build, like this symbol maybe. Unless is there another one? Like if I do that, that should cause an issue here. Yeah. So it seems like the red X is like, hey, this does not work. You can't do this. And then the other one is like a caution sign. Like, hey, maybe if you need this value, maybe if you actually need this, don't fuck it up. Lazy would hate my setup. It's dark mode, but the writing is pink and various pastel shades. I have my shit set up as pretty much as dark as I can get it. Okay. Well, I guess... No, that's how it's supposed to be. Nice.
Compile time errors are going to cause your compilation to fail, and
Yep.
that's a really good thing, because the compiler is going to stop you from generating a binary that doesn't really do what you expect it to do. So that's a good thing. But sometimes the compiler won't give you a compile error, and you have a chance to run into a runtime error, and that's really bad. So be careful about these things, and when you have problems, Visual Studio Code is going to show you the problem in Terminal or in this Problems tab, and you're going to be able to fix it up. We're going to stop here in this lecture. In the next one, we're going to learn a little more about statements and functions. Go ahead and finish up here and meet me there. In this lecture, we're going to...
All right. Statements and functions. How much more is this? So we're about halfway through chapter 2 at the moment. We're an hour and a half in. Huh. So if this whole thing, so it's like one, it's actually from here. So 1, 2, 3. If this whole thing, if we're on pace and these aren't like ridiculously long, then this will be like a 3-hour stream. All right. Just because it's code doesn't mean it can't be pretty. I agree. I haven't actually tested, like, I never actually got like code blocks or anything up and running. Maybe I'll fuck with code blocks after I finished this whole thing and gotten it set up and shit in a way that I think is helpful. But I kind of dig the way this looks. All right, let's see.
To learn about a little more about statements and functions in C++. A statement is a basic unit of computation in C++. You can say that it is the smallest thing your CPU can execute in your program. Okay. Every C++ program is a collection of statements, so you're going to have a bunch of statements that are organized in a certain way to achieve whatever it is you want. And statements in C++ must end with a semicolon. We saw in the last lecture that not putting that semicolon is going to result in a compile time error. Here is a basic sample C++ program that we're going to use to learn about statements.
Just because it's... Wait. Not VS Code, the other one? What? Code blocks? The one that you recommended to me? The one that, Oh, it still thinks the division by 0 is there for some reason? Weird. I'm just gonna go ahead and, There we go. Clear this whole thing out. Visual Studio Community. Well, I needed to install Community anyways for this thing. That's one of the things that one of the first things that he tells you to install. It's under I think he does it during the setting up tools section. It's like install Community and then get VS Code afterwards. I don't know. I don't know what all Visual Studio Community has in it that VS Code does not, or what exactly is going on with that. It's just very I follow the instructions good because I am a listener. Something foul. W3 schools is good for quick tutorials on specific shit. I'll have to keep that in mind. Who knows? Maybe after I've done this, I can go back to my uh to the Unreal thing that I have. You're a sheeple. I am a sheeple because only because first I have to like understand what the fuck's going on before I can start fucking with shit. It's not like I'm just installing mods or some shit where I can like, oh, I can just do this. And like the worst case scenario is, oh, I broke the game. I have to clean reinstall it. With this, it's like, oh man, I have to fucking start over after fighting with it for 12 hours. Lazy, I'm not a programmer yet. Yet, give me some time. I'm sorry. I will be a real programmist.
In the main function here, we have two variables declared. We haven't really learned about variables, but they are a way to store data in your program. And here we are storing two decimal numbers. One is called first number, the second is called second number. We can do something with these variables that we have in our program. For example, we can add them to have another variable in our program, and we can print that. So you see here,
I think
we
I can
are
understand
saying
what's going on here.
HDVC out, the sum of two numbers is sum. So this is going to print 21 because it's going to add 12 and 9. And the result of that is going to be displayed on the terminal if we run this program. What I really want you to notice is that this int first number equals 12 thing is a statement in C++, so it must end with a semicolon. The line here with second number is also a statement, so it must end with a semicolon. Every single line we have here in the main function is really a statement, and it must end with a semicolon.
So the only thing that I'm kind of, I don't think maybe he'll explain it in a bit, but I don't quite understand. So int main, he has this in here. I don't quite understand what this stuff is. I understand the shit in here. So int first number, so it's 12 plus 9, and then the sum is whatever the sum of these is, and it's supposed to print 21 by the looks of it. Like it's supposed to print the number 21 in the terminal from what I can tell. But I don't understand what purpose these serve. You don't need to worry about it. It's just one of those things.
If we don't put the semicolon in place, we're going to get a compiler error. Okay, one other thing that is really important to keep in mind is that statements are executed in order in your program, and the order is from top to bottom. If we go back to our program here, so the first statement is the one with first number here. 12 is going to be stored in memory when this statement is executed by your computer. And we're going to go to the second statement with second number, and we're going to keep going until we hit the end of the main function, and the return statement is going to execute. And when the main function returns or terminates, we're going to get the return value sent to your operating system, and it's going to know if your program ended successfully or with a problem, and the operating system is going to know what to do with that information. Execution keeps going until we hit the end of the program, or if there is any other condition causing for the program to terminate. And
those are used for calling your program, like in one of those CMD functions with all the is all version type bullshit. Or ls? And it's usually included just cause. Okay, so it's not a, so
we're going to have
this code, this isn't actually like necessary to the function of the code. I was curious because it says like int argc and char argv. I don't know what exactly that is. Calling your program. So, interesting. So hypothetically, I'm not going to bother with it right now, but hypothetically, if I just put all of this text in here, it'd run just fine, and I shouldn't run into any problems. Just to make sure I'm not totally misunderstanding shit. Yes. Okay. Sweet.
With that information. Execution keeps going until we hit the end of the program, or if there is any other condition causing for the program to terminate. And we're going to have more details about these things later. I just want you to know that the statements are executed in order in your main function. Another concept I really want you to have an idea about is the concept of functions. A function is really like a machine. You give it input and it's going to give you output. If we look at the operation
that makes
here
sense.
to add first
Functionally,
number to
this is a
second
giant
number,
calculator.
we can consider first number and second number as input to the function, and sum is the output of the function. We can visualize that like this. So we have a first number and a second number. We pass that into our machine, which is really a function, and we're going to get the result of this function in a return value or something that we get out of the function as our result. C++ has a special syntax we use to define functions.
What the fuck?
This is our function to add numbers. On the left, we have an integer, which is code name for a whole number in C++. It's a number without decimal points, and it's a whole number. After that, we have the name of the function, and we can name it whatever we want. And after that, we're going to have the list of parameters that we can pass to the function. And this is going to work as the input to the function. After you do that, you're going to have a pair of curly braces. The one is here, the other is here to the end, and within those curly braces is going to be the body of the function. Inside the function, you see that we are declaring a variable which is called sum, and we are storing the sum of first number and second number in this variable, and we are making this function return the sum as the result, and we're going to be able to capture it if we call this function in a function like main. You're going
Huh? He's teaching you functions? Is that not normal? I mean, this is statements and functions. It seems like, so from, if I had to guess, what he's gonna do first is we're gonna have to go through and make statements and then turn those statements into a function. When I was doing one of the things that during the Unreal course that I was doing, fucking they like trick you into writing your first function because it's like, okay, do this thing, and then you add a bunch of different statements inside of it, and then like that, it's like, okay, there we go. Lazy, you should record a 17-hour tutorial for RAG, and he plays it on stream. Oh my god. He's just gonna be like, Lazy, I need you to do the tutorial. You need to start by setting up code blocks for me. You gotta teach me. How do I do this?
going to see how this works in a minute. A function must be defined before it's used.
It would be quicker.
You can't really call a function you haven't defined first in your C++ program. And here is a slightly complete program to really put all these ideas together. We have our function to add numbers. It takes two numbers, first number and second number. It's going to add them up and store the result. And we're going to return sum to be used by whoever called this function. And if you look in our main program, we have a statement here. We're going to store the result of add numbers in the sum variable, and we pass first number and second number in the function, and we're going to have that result stored in here.
Okay. So now I'm a little bit unsure of what or not unsure. I mean, this kind of makes sense, but I don't understand why it's all necessary. You learning to draw, I film a tutorial that's just like, okay, draw a circle, now draw the rest of the damn orange. You should have been following. I mean, I thought I was keeping up.
Function capturing the sum of the
because like I understood the first part, and then all this just seems like it's more. Professional assistance from my little slope brain has arrived. Just for the record, Bonsai, uh, on YouTube, I have a lazy as well, who is also a programmer. I know so many people in the computer space. I mean, you should have been writing it in your program. I probably should have been, yeah. I was kind of assuming that he was going to open his own VS and we were going to follow along that way. What's the problem? The problem, there's no problem yet. I'm just a little smooth brain, okay? Just give me some time to unsmooth my brain. All
And
right, let's go back a bit.
here to
So let's write all this shit in. You're unsure, therefore there's a problem. I'm unsure because I'm a moron who doesn't really know what the hell's going on yet. So int first number, no, number 12, int second number 9. Make sure I'm not fucking that up. And then int sum equals first number plus second number. So this now I have to double team your stream on 2 platforms just so I can see both chats. Oh god. You have a bunch of coders, an artist, and an orange. Yes. I'll go to YouTube, don't worry. Oh my fucking god, dude. Alright, and then we have std cout. The sum of the 2 numbers is, and then sum std end line return 0. All right, so anything in here that is there anything in here that is obviously incorrect? I mean, I guess I just int argc char argv. We're only on YouTube because my internet doesn't want to use Twitch properly. Kinda, sorta. This is a fucking... I mean, the course seems like it's very, very good so far. Let me do, like, this. Make sure I'm not... Okay. So this is the first thing he went over.
add first number to second number, we can consider first number and second number as input to the function, and sum is the output of the function. We can visualize that like this.
Yeah,
so we
this
have
all
the first
makes
number
sense.
and the second
So we
number.
have first
we pass
number
that into our
that goes
machine,
into
which is
our
really
machine,
a
which is
function,
this
and
thing.
we're going to get the result of this function in a return value or something.
Or, wait, what? First number is what is called an L value, and 12 is an R value. L value is any value that can be looked up and changed in the context after the line. R value disappears after the line. So... L value... So, not necessarily changed. Let's call them out. Wait, what? First number is what is called an L value. So this is an L value. And 12 is an R value. Okay, so, okay. You're talking about... Because I was thinking these were the same thing, but they're not. You're talking about, like, specifically this... Whatever first number is can be changed, but 12, this is just a number. Okay. You can remember the name because L values are usually on the left of the equal sign. These are just random terms. So then second number would also be an L value, and 9 would be another R value. Yes, good boy. Shut the fuck up. Look, man, I got fucking a long time to go with this shit. I have something in the neighborhood of 29 hours remaining on this goddamn video.
Thing that we get out of the function as our result. C++ has a special syntax we use to define functions. This is our function to add numbers. On the left we have an integer, which is code name for a whole number in C++. It's a number without decimal points, and it's a whole number. After that we have the name of the function, and we can name it whatever we want. And after that we're going to have the list of parameters that we can pass to the function. And this is going to work as the input to the function. After you do that, you're going to have a pair of curly braces. The one is here, the other is here to the end, and within those curly braces is going to be the body of the function. Inside the function, you see that we are declaring a variable which is called sum, and we are storing the sum of first number and second number in this variable.
Wait, am I tripping? Was this not? Why is this part being repeated in here? Because this was in this was in the last one. Is this just like, are we just supposed to add this portion of this? Are we just supposed to add this portion to it? The int add numbers thing.
And we are making this function
That's some
return
bullshit, am I
the
right? Shut
sum
the fuck
as the
up.
result. And we're going to be able to capture it if we call this function in a function like main. You're going to
Add the whole thing. All right. Int add numbers. Int first number. Int second number. And then this was a curly brace. Int sum equal first number plus second number. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is different from this, right? But do it above or below main. Yeah. So these two things are not the same thing. Because this one is camel case, this one has an underscore. There is like, it's just two different L values, right? Are these just two? Am I being shown two different ways to do addition in C++? Is that what's happening here? Return sum.
see how this works in a minute. A function must be defined before
That's called snake case. You're being shown functions.
its use. So you can't really call a function you haven't defined first in your C++ program. And here is a slightly complete program to
Okay, so the way this is written, this is on top. Oh, right, in C++ you need to add it above the main function. So this was I'm just gonna leave that. I don't think it hurts, right? Surely it doesn't hurt. So int add numbers, int first number, second number, int sum, first number, second number, return sum, int main. Then it has this thing that I still don't quite understand. And then it has first number 12, second number 9. Sum is first number plus second number. Then I need to go here. Sum equals add numbers. First number, second, oh no, second number, and sum equals add numbers, Jesus, 34, 7. And then this one I already have written, but then this one, std, cout, the sum of the two numbers is add numbers 23, 8. Fucking keyboard. STD and L. argc and argv breaks down to basically count of arguments and arguments themselves. Do not put spaces after commas. Remove the white space after the add numbers things. What, these things? Parentheses got a touch function name. Ah. Am I tripping? Oh, it was just going to the left. Above as well, on all places, really. Wait, where am I putting... Do I have... Okay. This thing? Are we sure? Because, like, I mean... So, for this one specifically, at least, I mean, it seems to me like there's a space here. Let's see. This one I definitely don't need. Googly moogly. Oh, do put spaces after commas. Don't put spaces after add numbers. Do put spaces after commas. Oh my god. Add numbers 23, 8 needs a space. No, you need it always. Wait, what? Do not put spaces here. Do need spaces here. So we need a space here as well. Not after add numbers, after the comma. I'd argue the space after the comma is a semantic thing. I mean, it could be. I don't know. It seems like there isn't one in here. Is it one of those things where commas having spaces after commas is just kind of good practice for other situations, not necessarily important here, but is kind of a pain in the ass if you don't do it later on in other places? Because I'm fine with that. I like good practices. Yeah, it's for readability and not for the compiler to understand it. That tracks. I'm happy with that. Oh my gosh. Alright. Now that we kind of have our shit looking right.
To really put all these ideas together, we have our function to add numbers. It takes two numbers, first number and second number. It's going to add them up and store the result, and we're going to return sum to be used by whoever called this function. And if you look in our main program, we have a statement here. We're going to store the result of add numbers in the sum variable, and we pass first number and second number in the function, and we're going to have that result stored in here. Here, we also call the function with direct numbers. You see that we pass in 34 and 7, and we're going to print out the result here. This is the basic idea I want you to have about functions. They are reusable pieces of code that group together a bunch of statements to do whatever it is we want to do in that function. One benefit about functions is that we can reuse the code here. If you look here, we are calling this function multiple times without really rewriting these statements that are inside the function. I know some of these concepts might be cryptic to you right now. We are going to go to Visual Studio Code and try this in code, and you're going to see exactly how this works. Okay, here we are.
So he does come back. God damn it.
In
all right,
our
let's see
folder
if I fuck
where
myself.
we are storing our projects. I am going to grab the code from the template project.
Oh,
I am going
man.
to put that in the current project,
All right,
which is
let's see.
statements and functions. I'm going to paste that in here, and I am going to open this up in Visual Studio Code. I am going to close the project we have right now, and I am going
Mr.
to
Teacher,
open
that was an
our
excellent
new project.
explanation.
Let's browse to its location. I am going to open the project on statements and functions. Let's open this folder in Visual Studio Code, and we're going to have our starter project here. I am going to take out whatever we have in the main function and take out this const-eval thing. We don't really need it. And we are going to try and define two variables using two statements. We are going to say int first number, and we're going to put in a value, let's say 3, and we have to remember to end this with a semicolon. So this makes our statement. We can encode this in a comment to make this pretty clear. We're going to also define a second variable. So we're going to say int to mean that it is a whole number. It doesn't have decimal points like 2.5. It is a whole number like 1 or 7 or 10. So we're going to say second number. We can give it a name, and let's put in a 7. We're going to store these values in our program, and we can print these values out. Let's print them out first. So we're going to say stdc out. We already know how to do that, and we can say first number, and we can chain these output statements and say the first number.
Okay, so int first number. So int first number 3 is the same as int first number equals 3. Okay, so functionally these two lines should be identical, right? 10 and 11. Also that oh my god, I hate that. What, you don't like it when I have two separate things that are exactly the same? You should have seen it earlier, Bonsai. You missed it when I was doing print lines. We had one that was like where was it? We did what was it? It was this one. I want to say it was like this. I don't even know if this is correct. I think this is good. I don't know. It seems Oh god. No, stop. Get rid of that. There we go. I mean, what you have is effectively what is literally what it is in literally any other language. Brother, I hate that more than I hate I386 assembly. It didn't have the sum at the end, but yes, that's it. Yeah, I mean, the sum was there because that was the that was what it was. This is what it is for this one. But yeah, it was the /n to end the line instead of standard end line. Like Python is literally print heckin' dog. Oh god.
Is first number. You can do that stdendl, and you can notice that Visual Studio Code is really helping out in auto-completing things we have in our program. Let's print the second number
/n
to
is
really
universal
practice
for a new
this.
line
So
in every
if
language.
we do std,
Really?
you're going to see that it's going to give us a bunch of options we can choose from. If you want, you can scroll.
Wait a second. Fucking lazy. Isn't Redbird also like in programming? How many friends do I have in programming? I got, let's see, Legend of Mario, Bonsai, Mammoth, Lazy, Redbird, and Bonsai. I don't think Brian's ever going to show up here, but Brian is also in coding, right? That's 6 people. I'm assembling a team. Oh my god.
Through this with your mouse,
So
or you
many
can
people
just type
that I know who
whatever
are in
you want to
programming.
type. So I am going to do see out, and it's going to try and help out. If I really want, I can come on see out here and click on it.
His
and it's going
girlfriend
to
is
be
too. Oh my
auto-completed,
god.
which is pretty cool.
I'm
So we're going to
assembling
say
a
second
team. Oh my
number,
god, shut
and
up.
we're going to
Shut
say
up.
second number here, and it's going to autocomplete for us, it.l, and we can try and compile this program. Before we do, I want you to guess what we're going to get when we run this program. Give it a guess. We are then going to go to terminal, run task.
Okay,
and
so we need to, he wants us to guess what that's going to turn out, but I don't want to guess what that's going to turn out. I want to guess what this is going to turn out. I want to guess. So let's go run task. Okay, so built successfully. Let's see. If we come here, we have first one. So the first one is supposed to just give us sum, right? Add numbers, first number plus second number. Wait a second. Is this not gonna... I only know the very basics, so it's okay, we're in this together. Yeah, but you also do like don't you do like you what is it, HTML, PHP stuff for your website, Tara? I don't know if it I'm not 100% on that. So first number, second number. So this first one is should be here, right? So this sum should be fucking 21. So it should be 21 and then 41 by the looks of it when I run this. Yeah, I know web dev stuff. All right, let's run this, and it should be 21 and 41 based on the numbers we've input. Okay, I'm retarded, I guess. Why is it 31? Wrong, retard. I can't add, okay? Okay, no, this one's 28.3, 31. Duh, what am I... Wait, then what is this for? This is the 41. Wait, what the fuck? Hold the fucking phone. What is wrong with me? Wait, where did it... Did we just not use these? Sum equals 21. This one... Because 41... That one kind of makes sense to me. That's this one. And then it says the sum of two numbers is this. You're just overwriting sum with a new value. But where do I... What have I done then? So this thing is just completely off. So this sum gets overwritten. And you did it twice. Okay, so this one, okay, I think I understand. So for this one, sum is just this one, 41. And then this one, it overwrites what sum is again with these two new values. So with this one, it's using these numbers, and with this one, it's using these two. Hence why I'm getting these. So this whole thing is completely pointless by the looks of it. Your sum goes from being 21 to being 21 again, and then you overwrite it with 41. So if I took this exact line and put it up here, would that change it? Would that give me a third line with 21? Yes. Nate, each time you... Oh, fuck. What's up, Nate? I didn't expect to see you here. Each time you do sum equals, it overwrites the value of sum, so you print it out and you only take the last value. Okay. Oh my god. Here, let's run this real quick and see if it'll... Let's see if I can... Alright, so now we have 21, 31, 40, or 41, 31. Now, I don't... This is what we get for building off of the lecture that he was doing at the beginning before we actually get into this thing.
We're going to build.
Okay. I'm tempted to just overwrite all of the stuff I've done and put in what he's got here. It's probably best to do that, I think. This is why I told you to use Visual Studio Community at the end. You can see everything in the debugger. Well, the problem is, right, so in this tutorial, we've got, where is it? Debuggers are in here somewhere. It's lambda functions, blah, 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 blah. Hold on, where is it? I know I saw them. Arrays, pointers, references, character manipulation, functions, getting things out of functions, function overloading, lambda functions, intro to lambda functions, function template, C++20 concepts, classes, inheritance, polymorphism. Could have sworn it was in here somewhere. Also, what the fuck? Polymorphism is like 7 hours? Holy shit. Do it? Do what? Just overwrite all of my shit? Personal opinion, one of the best ways to begin to understand code is to take a set of code that you understand and start modifying it to understand what happens. I mean, that's kind of what we were doing here. I thought I understood something, misunderstood it when I didn't understand what the fuck was going on, and then modified it again after understanding it, and my new understanding was vindicated. Polymorphism is hard. I'm afraid. Polymorphism is a huge concept for C++ and other object-oriented programming languages like Python or Java. Oh god. Where's the fucking... He mentioned at the beginning that we have a debug thing, like that he would show us how to use this. I don't know how the fuck this works. I'm hoping that he covers it eventually. Okay. Let's start our shit. Let's start our shit over. Calling Python object-oriented is funny, even if it's technically true. Press debug button, let's go. Okay. Run and debug. C++ GDB LLDB, C++ Windows. This is the one that is suggested. Does it matter? Ever tried forcing MATLAB to be object-oriented? What the fuck? That sounds insane. Does it matter which of these I use? This is the one that says suggested, but never tried MATLAB because I'm not a nerd. Yeah, fuck it. Guess I'd try this one. I was using some tape seal to seal an order from my shop, and afterwards I dropped the tape roll and it fucking despawned. Oh god. Understandable. Have a nice day. In regards to not using MATLAB, G++ build, debug, build and debug. Wait, these are the same, isn't it? Detected task. What the fuck is this? I'm afraid to push this button. I don't know what it does. Starting build, build finished successfully. Oh god. Oh Jesus. What the fuck is this? Just click the first one and pray. That's, oh my god. Looking all over the floor. Did it go to Brazil? I fucking hope not. Free software. There's no warranty. Blah 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 blah. GDB was configured as all this shit. Show configuration. GDB. Warning: debug target architecture not detected. Assuming x86_84. CMD param change param pagination value equals off. New thread. New thread. New thread. Thread 1 hit 1 breakpoint. VS Code projects. Blah blah blah. Int first number 12. Symbols loaded, symbols loaded, symbols loaded, all the fuck over the place. Thread, thread, thread. Inferior. Program. What does this mean? What does this mean? What have I done? What's going on? I'm scared. What is this? I was told to push a button, and I don't know what this button done. What the fuck? It's all fucked up, man. It's all... Type next. Next? There's a terminal at the bottom. It's not... It says, please start a debug session to evaluate expressions, but I can't type into it. Do I just use terminal to do it? If I just type... or do I need to be in the debug console? Oh, you don't have a breakpoint anywhere? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. What is a breakpoint? Your program finished. I would expect it to. It's pretty small. It prints 3 values. I'm distracting you? Motherfucker. I guess I could... Oh. Shell integration failed to activate. Following extensions have contributed to this terminal's environment. Git. Git auth provider. That must have been something I installed fucking forever ago, because I don't remember doing that. That's a lot of symbols that mean something. It sure is, man. It sure the fuck is. I've been doing this shit for 2 hours, and I'm barely understanding what the fuck's happening. I know, this is addition, believe it or not. You thought fucking math was hard before? This is what addition looks like. You know what this provides? This gets me 3 numbers. This is 3 addition problems. This is 3 addition problems that could have been done with Notepad, probably. Notepad and your brain. Just continue the lesson. I probably should. Let's clear that. We're gonna make our shit look like his shit. Because I don't understand what the fuck, we're gonna go... Go up to int main. And we're gonna get rid of this one for now. I'm sure he'll add it again later, but for now, we're making our shit look like his. So, int first number... Oh god, I can't button. 3. I don't need the comment. That's not important. Int second number. 7, std cout, first number, and first number, std end line, std. Oh, there's only one there. No, stop it. Cout, second number, second number, std end line. We were all fucked up there for a second. No, it couldn't have. My brain is far too small to add double-digit numbers. All right, let me. I need to make sure my shit's all correct. So int main, we have our IO stream, first number, second number, cout, ends at line 12. First number is here, second number. Oh, I don't need 2 spaces there. And now it looks uniform. We are the same. And we can be Zen now.
This with GCC, the build is going to be successful. We're going to open this in our terminal. The terminal goes away, no problem. We're going to open it again, and we are going to go in our folder and do dir. And you're going to see that we have rooster.exe, our program. We can run it, and it's going to say first number 3 and second number is 7. This is what we have stored in these variables. And the benefit of storing your data in variables is that you can change the variables and let the rest of your program really do the same things and pick up the data that you have in those variables. For example, we can put 13 in the first number, and if we build again, this number is going to be picked up by this code, and we didn't need to go in and manually change data in these std cout statements here. Let's build so that we can see this, and we can close this by clicking, and if we run rooster again, it's going to say 13 and 7. Play with this a couple of times until you really feel confident. And if you have any problem, don't hesitate to ask me. I am going to do the best I can to help you out.
Okay. So all these statements are basically just storing values essentially for different things, right? Numerical values. So one thing that's kind of got me curious, why is this int main and then this is integers, right? First number 3, second number 7, like integer. We're storing an integer in first number, right? That's what I'm understanding, and I don't know if that's a correct understanding. It feels kind of weird. Hey, it's you. How you doing, Nightmare Thief? I am attempting to learn new skills. And I am not not the smartest bear in the. It's int main because main is a function that returns an integer. Okay, so is that because it's just returning this 0 here? Is that kind of what I'm understanding? Because like these, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's. Yes. Okay. So it's not. We don't need. I guess brain. So. And when it has a runtime error, it returns some other value. So it's like a way to catch like bugs and other issues, right? It seems like. Are we always going to be using int main?
Now that we have these numbers stored in our program, we can add them up. Okay. Let's say int sum. We're going to declare another variable, and we're going to say it's equal to first number plus second number. And we're going to end this with a semicolon. And we're going to print the sum out. Let's do stdc out, and we're going to say the sum is sum. We're going to print our variable here, and we're going to print a new line character with stdendl. We're going to build our program so that our changes are reflected in our binary here. So we're going to go to terminal, run task, build with GCC. The build is going to be successful. We're going to press any key. We are going to click here in the terminal, and we're going to hit enter and run rooster again, and we should see the sum, and you see it says the sum is 20, which is what we expect.
All right, well, ours is 10.
We are doing the sum here, but it would really be
because
better
we're
if
not
we're not
13.
doing the sum in the main function here. What if we actually took this code and wrapped it in a function that we could reuse wherever we want? We have seen how we can declare a function, so let's do that. We're going to follow the same structure we saw in the slides earlier. So we're going to say int. This is going to be the return value, or what we get out of the function. Then we're going to put in the name of the function. We're going to say add numbers, and we're going to pass in the parameters. The parameters can really have any name you want, but you have to specify the type of the parameter first. So the parameters are also going to be whole numbers like 1, 5, 7, or whatever you want. And we're going to say first param, and the second is going to also be a whole number, an integer, and it's going to be second param. Okay, after we do this, we're going to specify the body of the function, which is going to be between these curly braces. I am going to jump to the next line so that this is really easy to see. So I am going to define our sum variable inside the function. It's going to be a whole number, and I can call it whatever I want. So let's call it result, because it's going to be the result of this function, and the result is going to be the sum of first param and second param. Okay, I hope this makes sense. And we're going to end this with a semicolon, because every statement in C++ has to end with a semicolon. After we have the result, we need to give it back to whoever called this function, and we're going to do that with a return statement. And we're going to return the result to whoever might have called this function here. Now that we have the function, we can actually use it. We're going to go back in our main function, and what
I forget. There we go. Okay, so if my understanding is correct, we don't have values for any of these, do we? Doesn't seem like it.
What we're going to do is to reuse this sum variable and store in whatever is returned from our function. The syntax for that is going to be sum, and we're going to say equals, and we're going to say add numbers, and we can pass in whatever two numbers that we want to add up. Let's pass in 25 and 7, for example. We would expect this to give us 32. So if we print the sum again, we can just copy this statement that prints the sum and reuse it here. Let's align this a little bit. And I want you to take a guess at what we are going to get from this program right now. We have these two numbers, we are adding them up. If we get here, this should print the first number, which is going to be a 13. So here we expect to get 13. And by the time we hit this second number statement, we are going to print the second number. It's going to be 7. If we get here, we're going to print whatever is stored in sum. And in sum, we have the sum of first number and second number. So this should print 20, right? And here we are doing another sum of two numbers, but we are using a predefined function that we have here before the main function, because you have to define the function before you use it. Okay, if we add 25 and 7, we are going to fall into this function.
Present. Print. We are going to print.
and it's going to add those numbers up, and we're going to get a 32 in here, and that's what we're going to return, and it is going to be saved in this variable. If we print it out, it's going to give us 32. I hope this makes sense. Let's build and run our...
So add numbers. Okay, so this is just a function, right? This is just a function that we've created to call for later. It doesn't actually generate a number itself. Just make it, and this is where we end up calling it. So our sum equals whatever the result of this is. So we take the first param, I think that's this one, plus second param is this one. And then the return. So when we say result, I assume that's I assume that it's understanding to print where this sum value is, where we have this is like the text, it'll be sum, and then it has the sum after that, which is what the result of this function is. All right, let's do so run task. All right, well, it finished. Let's clear this real quick. So what it should do is print 13, 7, and then it should print 20, and then it should print 32, right? It should have those 4 values. You should play Thief. I should. I haven't played a Thief game in a while. I should play the, I've been thinking about playing Gloomwood when that comes out, but or like not when it comes out, but when it's like when it's completely out. Like not in early access anymore. So 13, 7, 20, 32. 13, 7, 20, 32. Holy shit. I feel so fucking big brain right now, dude. I feel so fucking big brain. See, this is all well and good, but like I'm wondering whether I'd be able to do this with well, on my own. Scary. All right, so that's this portion.
Program, run task, build with GCC. The build is going to go fine. We're going to go back to our terminal here. Let's clear so that things don't disturb us and bring in some confusion. We're going to run our rooster program, and exactly what we have here, we have a 13 from the first statement here.
Oh,
we have a 7 from this
Our
statement here. We have a 20 from this sum here, which is here, and we have a 32 that we got from this function.
Okay.
The good thing about functions is that we can reuse them.
Writing
Now that we know how to use it, we can use it again, and we can say sum equals add numbers, and we can say 30 and 54, for example. You add them up and you're going to get the result. So we're going to print the result, sum, and we're going to put in the sum. I really want you to take some time and play with this statement so that these things make sense. It's really not that difficult, but you just have to wrap your brains around how C++ defines these things. So we have this statement and we are adding 30 and 54, so it should get an 84 after the 32 here. Let's build. We're going to run the task to build with GCC. We're going to click on the terminal here and
okay, so this one should return a value of 100 and 131 when on mine. So terminal, run task. Oh, whoops. My bad. Fucked that one up. Didn't make that capitalized. That should be correct now. Yeah. So now, terminal, run task. Now it should be fine. Yep, built. Then 131. Holy shit. We're doing it, guys. We're doing it.
And hit enter. Let's clear so that we don't have things disturbing us, and we're going to run our program, and we have our trusty 84 here. I really hope this makes sense.
Yep.
And as a bonus,
I'm understanding, dude.
that you can also
I'm an understander.
call things in the std cout statement here without having to store them in some predefined variables. And sometimes this comes in handy. So you can say std cout, and we're going to say sum, and you might say add numbers right in here, and you're going to say 3, for example, and 42, and this is going to give us a 45. That's what we should expect to see after 84 here. So let's build and run the task to build with GCC. The build is going to be successful. We click on the terminal here, we hit enter so that we see our terminal with output. We're going to clear so that we see our output without noise. We're going to run our program, and we're going to see a 45 here. I really hope.
Oh, that's actually... That makes perfect sense, but like I can't believe I didn't even think of doing that. Oh, one of those is fucked up. Because you don't actually need to store it as a sum value, you can just put it in here. Okay. And because you've defined this as this, then... So this should... I mean, I can make this whatever. I can make it like 85 plus 42. This should be fucking 127, I think. Okay. Dude, holy shit. And it spits out exactly the same result. You can print R values. So the add numbers function, speaking of R values, so add numbers, this essentially creates an R value, right? It isn't like, because an L value is the one that you can modify via whatever other things. Like if another parameter or another function comes by and changes it, then first number isn't necessarily always going to be 13. But 13 is 13 is 13 is 13 is 13. And then I assume, I mean, this is just thinking out loud. I assume that you can probably create parameters to change the add numbers functions as well, like later on. Like if you can create like variables essentially, like make this one X and this one Y, and then fucking have things that come in and change what X and Y are. I remember, oh God, when I was like a little kid in high school, I was writing, I think we were using... I want to say it was Java. I don't remember what the fucking program was called. Look at us all being so productive. I can't remember what the coding environment or whatever the fuck it was that we used was in high school, but it fucking... Like, one of the things it let you do was you could track where your mouse was on the screen, and because you're tracking the mouse, it'll change X and Y to be equal to whatever coordinates it was on. It was fucking weird. Alright.
Hope this makes sense. The whole point of this lecture was to make you aware of statements and function. A statement is the most basic unit in your C++ program. It basically lives on one line, but it can also spread across different lines. But we're not going to look at that here. Maybe we're going to see that later in the course. Statements are executed in order, so when our main function gets to be run by the computer, it's going to go from the first statement, second statement, third statement, and it's going to go until it hits the end. And we can see that here in the order in which our numbers are printed, it is going from top to bottom. We have also seen that we can split our code in different functions and wrap whatever functionality we have in a function. We have seen the basic concepts on functions. A function has a return value, it has a name, and you have to give it the parameters, and you put the body of your function within these two curly braces. As an
No.
exercise, I would challenge you to do a function that multiplies two numbers and call it in the main function here to see the result. If you have any problem, please do ask me. I am going to do the best I can to help you out. This covers all we set out to do in this lecture, and I hope you found it interesting. We're going to stop here in this lecture. In the next one, we're going to see how we can input and output things from our C++ program. Go ahead and finish up here and meet me there.
Okay, so I'm thinking that input output, I think this will be the once I do this little exercise that he set out where we try to multiply instead of adding, once we've done something with that, I think I can go ahead and I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. I want to like go to the bathroom and like chill out a little bit before we do some more trombone later. But let's see about getting all this stuff. So we'll keep this as our kind of okay, so we don't need these because we kind of do the same thing with that here. Don't delete add numbers. No. We need this. We'll want add numbers. I think what we'll do is we'll create a new one called int I don't know, multiply numbers. I think we'll do int. We'll do first param and second param again. Int first param, int second param. I hope this doesn't like fuck anything up and that I'm totally doing it wrong. So int result equals first param. I'm going to assume that it's the multiply. It's the star for the multiply symbol. Second param. And then return result. So we've created this function now, right? We've created the multiply numbers function. We have these numbers defined already. We don't need to. I don't need to print these numbers every time. We have first number and second number defined. I don't think we need. We'll keep this just to make sure that it's as like a thing. So we'll do. Okay. So let's try. We're gonna try doing it all three different ways, where we create a sum. What is the? I forget the word for when you multiply two numbers together. Is it factor? No. What is it what is the factor of 7 times 7 or some shit? Oh god. Math terms. Math glossary. Oh no. Math term for multiplication result. I want to say, is it factor? Both numbers are referred to as factor. Oh god, I just want math. I just want the thing. This is notation. Product of two fractions, product of two integers, blah, blah, blah. Complex numbers, computation, computer algorithms. I just want the fucking term. What are the formal names of operands and the results of basic functions? So addition, augend, addend, sum, multiplication, multiplicand, multiplicator, product. That's the word I'm looking for. Product. Jesus Christ, why couldn't I remember that? All right, so we'll do... So we'll have our addition stuff up here, and then we'll do our multiplication stuff over here. So int product equals, I think we want to do, we'll just do first number plus times second number. First number times second number. And then we'll do std cout product am I just doing... Oh god, where is it? It's product std and l. So what this should do is multiply 13 times 7, right? So that should be fucking 91, I think. And then this one we'll do product. Wait, oh fuck. I shouldn't have gotten rid of the third one that we did, the third way that we did this add numbers thing. Okay, hold on. I'll just do first we'll do std cout. I always forget the second one. Cout product, and then this one is multiply numbers, and we'll do product equals, okay, yeah. Wait. It was product equals multiply numbers. And then we just select two values. I don't know, we'll do fucking 30 and 3. And then this one, and then we wanted to print this line. Product std and l. And then this one is just printing straight from this. And we'll do, let's just do fucking, I don't know, 6, 2. And this one needs another line. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna separate these so it's like multiplication, and this one is addition. So what this should do is these should print as normal, and I kind of want to add this back. So do sum equals add numbers, and we'll just do fucking, I don't know. I don't know why I'm stressing over which numbers to add. It doesn't really fucking matter. Add numbers, and then we std cout sum. Let's see if I've fixed it. If I've unfucked myself. Sum and L like this. Try doing add numbers, multiply numbers, and vice versa. Oh my god, what the fuck? Hold on. Let me run the shit that I think I understand before we start getting into shit that I don't understand yet. Well, give me a second. Give me a second. So what this should do, what I'm understanding here, what I think I've done correctly. So this is a multiply numbers function. This is an add numbers function. So addition. This is the part that we kind of had before. So what it should do is it should print out these numbers. So it should print the first. I don't think it's going to print. Yeah, no, we're not printing the basic numbers anymore. We're not printing first and second number. What we're just going to do is just print the results. So first one, it should print 20, then it should print 75, then it should print 127. Then after those three, it'll be multiplication with product. The first one should be 91, I think. I'm not 100% on that math. The next one should be 90, and the last one should be 12. So let's see if we get this, if we've done this shit correctly. G++. Built properly, good. Look at that. Look at that. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my god. Sum 20, sum 75, sum 127, product 91, product 90, product 12. Just like we drew it up, boys. Just like we drew it up. Yes! Okay. Now let's try this other weird thing that Lazy's recommended. Okay. Try doing add numbers, multiply numbers, and add numbers. So, what exactly... So if we do, what is it? If we do add numbers, and then making sure that I understand this, we're just doing a multiply numbers inside of it. So this is our first thing. So let's just do small numbers. We'll do 2 and 5, and then another multiply numbers. This needs to be correctly spelled. This multiply numbers is, we'll just call it 3 and 6. Math, the scenic route. Basically, have an extra set of parentheses. So then should be like this. Or is this also unnecessary? Okay, yeah, there we go. So this one should add the numbers, if I'm not mistaken. This one should add 10. Here, we'll do this one. Let's get fancy with it. std cout sum. How's this? How's that for fancy? Okay, you need to save it somewhere or print it. So we have add numbers, multiply numbers, multiply numbers. So this should add 10 and 12, right? And then this would print to... It should just immediately work, right? Terminal, run task. And what? YouTube is laggy? Oh no. I mean, 3 times... Oh, 18, yeah. 18. It should add 10 and 18, so this add numbers should be 28, I think, by the end of it. So let's give this a shot. Nope, never mind, I'm an idiot. Okay, product 12 sum. What is this? Why is it saying 12 sum? So I fucked something somewhere. I don't know where. Oh, I didn't create a new line for it, I don't think, did I? This was supposed to be... Yeah, this needs to be std and l, right? Let's see. Terminal, run task. And then... There we go. Yeah, yep. Sweet! Look at that! And then I assume, based on the fact that this works, that I could do multiply numbers and then do add numbers variables inside of that as well. Like this, we'll do one just for funsies. std cout product. And it'll be multiply numbers. And we'll do add numbers. We'll do 2 and 7. And then add numbers. This needs to be like so. And then this one will be 4 and 6. And this one, again, I almost forgot it this again, but std and l, like this. Last line doesn't have an end l again. Look, there. You can go as deep as you want. I can't add numbers. So we got all of this shit. Now, the only reason I have to scroll back and forth like this is because I have I have this only taking up half my monitor while the video takes up the other half. But then if we run task, and then let's clear this. This one creates a product of 90. Add numbers within add numbers within add numbers. Just keeps going. It's like a nesting doll. Matryoshka of code. And let's make sure. I want to double check my math and make sure I'm right. So 14 so wait, no, it's 9 plus 10, and then we multiply those two numbers and it's 90. All right, perfect. And then if I had changed this to 3, the answer would be 100. Dude, this is nice. Dude, it's working. I'm Anakin fucking Skywalker, dude. It's working. It's working. Dude, this is hype. Okay. The internet told me 9 plus 10 is 21. You learn if statements in 7 hours, by the way. Hey, I will work with however the fuck the video goes. And ideally Ideally, it'll explain itself well enough that I'll understand. Because understanding how the thing when I was first writing this, the thing that confused me is that it didn't do anything. 7 hours in, at 7 hours. Yeah. The thing that confused me when writing this at first is just that it doesn't immediately do anything. So I was like, okay, why are we doing this? But the fact that it's like the fact that this is something that we just create so that we can use it later. It's like now we have all of our shit. But it did. Yeah, I mean it did, but it's not like I wasn't sure what the fuck it was supposed to be printing because this I didn't understand it at first. And then like the param first param, second param, it's like I don't understand what this was. But it's as we've gone on, I understand what the hell it all is. So like our add numbers function, this is defining what it does. Because it's an add numbers function, we're using integers, so these are our integer parameters, which I assume, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, I assume what that means is if I try to add numbers and I add something like like x plus xy, these are not integer values, and so they're not like they don't do anything. At least these are, because these haven't been assigned integers as of yet. They don't actually do anything until which time I change it to make x and y equal some sort of integer, right? Like this I mean it's telling me right now x is undefined. It doesn't do anything. So adding x and y doesn't mean anything. It's like trying to add letters of the alphabet. It doesn't mean, like adding a plus b doesn't mean anything unless you put numbers to them. Jesus. All right. Well, I think that's a pretty successful first day. We got 2.5 hours total into this video. And I mean, it's only like 45 minutes. No, you can add A and B. Does that get me... Are you talking about hexadecimal? A and B I can do? Do it? Okay. Let's give it a shot. Oh, I missed most of this. Oh well. I mean, to be fair, I did kind of I started later than I had really intended to. But I also wasn't like add numbers A B. I don't know, man. It's not looking like I can do that. And L. And A is undefined, B is undefined. It's A, B. You have to use the single, what, like this? That's interesting. It got rid of the problems. What does this do? Ooh, ooh, ooh. What does this button do? Well, let's find out. Yeah, it's because it's hexadecimal, isn't it? No, it's not hexadecimal. What the fuck is it? These numbers don't make sense. 195? A and B. What is it? Explain. Why is A and B like this? Why is A and B ASCII numbers? They're ASCII numbers. Is that how it is? ASCII, woohoo! Fucking A and B. So what explain ASCII numbers? I understand that ASCII is like I mean I don't understand what the fuck ASCII is because A is 97 in the ASCII table and B is 98. And so if you use this thing, it turns these into ASCII symbols rather than letters or I guess variables of some sort. IBM. Oh boy, let's take a look see. ASCII characters 33 to 126. You know, it's funny. I think the only time I've ever fucked with ASCII at all is typing like 4chan shit where you type Alt 30 to get an empty space so that you could Triforce. Or no, it wasn't even Alt 30. Alt 30 was the triangle. It was the fucking I want to say it was 266 or some shit. I don't know. I don't remember the numbers anymore. TLDR, every letter has an associated number in ASCII. Interesting. So A, lowercase a, C, lowercase c, N, uppercase N. So uppercase and lowercase have different values in ASCII as well. Every letter has an associated number, huh? Very interesting. Very interesting. So then hypothetically, if I were to change this to R, it would be 97. All right, let's change it to G. So this should give me a value of 200. Wow, look at that. A and B would give a different value. Capitals would give me a different value. Okay. Nice. Well, I learned a lot today. Fucking hell. Ah! All right, well, I guess I have to do this again tomorrow. I'm going to hop off, probably, at least hop off stream for a few hours. I'll be back in like 3. We're gonna be doing some more Tron-Bon, but I'm gonna get some water. Try to maybe get some food and shit. But this was a very informative day. A very informative day indeed. So, I think with that, a whole new world. Wait until we teach you about bitmaps. Oh God, where is bitmaps in here? I don't even know. So, all right, let me actually. We're gonna make a new notepad. I don't have my schizo barkeep on here, but we'll see. C++ video progress. We're at the 2-hour 31 mark, 35 seconds. So we're at input output. Input output. I'm gonna go ahead and save this on my desktop. C++ progress. Yay, Tron-Bon. I love Tron-Bon. I thought that was a good game. Okay, it's a great game so far. And my favorite way to multiply and divide by 2. Why does that sound threatening when you type it in chat like that? It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna learn my favorite way to divide by 2. Like, what are you talking about? Are you gonna like rip me in half? What the fuck is going on? All right, but I've tried signing off like 3 times and I can't do it, so I'm just going to go ahead and say good. See you later, guys. I'll be back in a few hours with some Tron-Bon. We'll be playing some video games. Until then, I fucking have a good one, guys. Later, chill. I will be back soon. Later.